Like a lovely formation of soldiers on Republic Day, the Indie Alliance members have marched gracefully into the BJP's trap on the issue of Ram Mandir invitations. You would think that the opposition parties would by now have had a unified, cohesive, prudent way to navigate this emotive and sticky issue right before the general elections, but no. They've decided it's probably just simpler to dive headlong into the BJP's trap, like they've been doing practically all year long and all decade long, in fact. Which is why you now have a situation where Sharad Pawar says he hasn't been invited and that the BJP is doing Mandir politics. Sita Yechury has declined the invitation, saying he opposes the politicization of Ram Mandir. Shashi Tharoor says temples are not the government's business and that going to the temple is an individual affair, not a party affair, even as we come to know that Sonia Gandhi is likely to be attending. Mamata Banerjee has been invited but is likely to skip the event altogether. Samajwadi party chief Akhilesh Yadav has said only God can choose who does darshan, even though one of his MPs has aggressively attacked the event. Supriya Sule has said the BJP cannot deny that there's politics over the Mandir. Uddhav Thackeray's right hand Sanjay Raut says the BJP has kidnapped Lord Ram, saying the Uddhav Sena will go after the inaugural event. Sam Pitroda, whose intemperate words in 2019 sent the Congress scrambling to firefight, is back again to ask whether Ram Mandir is a real issue and wondering why it's being state-sponsored by the Prime Minister. The IUML, an ally of the Congress party, says it's a big BJP trap that must be avoided. It's not like the inauguration of the Ram Mandir is some surprise event, viewer. The date has been known for months. It has been known perhaps even for years that the inauguration of the Mandir would be timed for just before this election. And yet the opposition finds itself thrust in an uncomfortable spotlight. Here individual leaders are fumbling to come up with explanations or excuses. Frankly, leaders like Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray, in my opinion, are wasting their time by describing the Mandir inauguration as a political event. Let's be clear. Of course it's a political event. Of course the Mandir's opening has been timed before the elections for maximum political benefit. But that's basic stuff that doesn't need decades in politics to discern or pronounce. The Aam Aadmi and Aam Mahila know what's political and what's not. But the Aam Aadmi and Mahila also recognize the significance of the event beyond all the politics. Politicians and parties attaching themselves to events or monuments is scarcely new. Modi isn't the first one to do it. But even after a history of controversy and acrimony, can any opposition leader call the Ram Mandir consecration purely political? The hesitation in the opposition's response to the invitations defines this dilemma. On the one hand, the temptation to use this as an occasion to bash the BJP and Modi and paint them as mindless Mandir maniacs. But in their eagerness to score a hit on the BJP and Modi, the opposition merely cedes space to the Prime Minister and confirms what the BJP has always said about the opposition, that they see all things through the prism of politics, that the opposition is full of Chunavi Hindus who cannot hang up their political boots even for a single day in order to be part of a historic event that most opposition leaders believe is the case. A thread of acrimony over the timeline of the Ram Mandir will never really evaporate, viewer. But surely the rise of the Ram Mandir offered the opposition an opportunity to demonstrate that it is capable of rising above the daily scrum of politics and seize the precious symbolism of manifesting unity, unanimity, and the faith of millions. This is something that simply cannot be denied. Those who say this pure devotion bereft of politics are being totally disingenuous. The Ram Mandir has always had a parallel political track through its journey. But those who only see politics in the Ram Mandir's history, its timeline, and the chosen time of consecration are belittling and dismissing the faith and joy of millions of devotees in India and across the world, for whom the Ram Mandir is not some Sunday sightseeing destination, but literally an article of faith. For them, the rise of this Mandir is seen beyond what political benefits accrue to which party. The irony in all of this, viewer, is plain to see. The BJP stands to end up looking fully devotional, fully immersed in the astha of the occasion, while the opposition ends up looking defensive, petulant, and underconfident of occupying space that shouldn't, frankly, belong to any single party, but belongs to millions of the faithful who see the Mandir as beyond politics. It is the vacation of this space that has permitted the BJP to own the Ram Mandir almost wholly. It is this vacation of space that has allowed the BJP to blur out the obvious politics of the occasion and allow the hero image to be one of devotion. It is this juvenile vacation of space that permits the Prime Minister to fully claim the mantle of being Hindu Hriday Samrat. It's almost like the BJP plays the opposition like a Pied Piper. And it is troubling for democracy at large that the opposition doesn't have the integrity and self-confidence to stand up and be counted during this ceremony. If the India alliance was truly a cohesive, self-assured alliance, all leaders invited wouldn't waste time looking diffident, looking reluctant, looking hesitant. They would allow the spotlight to linger on them. They wouldn't allow the spotlight, rather, to linger on them. As politicians whose power flows from elections and the electorate, they gain nothing from allowing the spotlight of confusion to hover over them, while disparate voices spout contradictory and self-defeating excuses. Even politicians in the wilderness, like Kapil Sibal, who were actually part of the legal war, are now busy writing poems saying the Mandir is the BJP's big show-off. It is precisely this kind of silly, defensive walkover that clears the decks for the BJP to trumpet the Ram Mandir, even subliminally, as their electoral delivery. And let's be clear, there is nothing subliminal about what's going on. This is an opportunity for the opposition to grab back that space. They spend all their time saying the BJP is no custodian of the Hindu faith and Modi is nobody to issue certificates on Hinduness. Both things are correct. Well, this is the opposition's opportunity to put its money where its mouth is, stop the rhetoric, and demonstrate that not everything is about politics and that the opposition can stand up and be counted where it matters. And that the opposition most definitely doesn't need certificates. Will it do so? Is sadly a separate thing altogether. Because viewer, in India, the year 2024 will be almost entirely about the general election. Nobody can think of it otherwise, because the big shadow of what is to come in 2024 is the national general election. For me and others in the media, it means an almost overwhelming focus on the campaign, then the results, and then the first months of the next sarkar.